Michigan, that's all you got? Good morning. Man, these guys have been pumped up waiting on you.
Well, that's good.
So we were having some fun, and I was just curious. Did you have any Budweiser last night? I'm just curious. And if so, how many? Because we have a bet going on.
Actually, I didn't.
Oh, none. How about this morning? Someone's like, well, he might not have none last night, but this morning.
Happy Father's Day!
Happy Father's Day, that's right.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a good weekend so far. I've had Delana and Keelan here all weekend, so by the time it gets to about 9 o'clock, you're pretty much wiped out.
So did you get anything for Father's Day yet?
Yeah, they got me a cool little book of like our first 11 months of pictures that we've had. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
So was it an actual book or was it on like DVD?
No, it's like an actual book. Yeah, they went old school. So yeah, it's cool. You don't realize how many pictures you take and how many things that we've actually been able to have and add or be a part of, especially in our environment here at our job. So it's not normal that you get to take your son to work.
You know, it's kind of cool. I was talking to some of the fans. Some of them have been waiting on you for 3 hours now. And I was talking to a guy right down here, and it was kind of cool because he was like, me and my wife had a baby, and we had a little baby girl, and named the baby after your wife. I mean, how cool is that? Like, usually it's you or your son, but how does that make you feel that people are naming their kids after your wife?
Well, you know, she's pretty interactive with a lot of the fans, and obviously, you know, played a big role in KHI, and you know, people pay attention to what she's doing and what we're doing, and so you realize, especially now that we have a child, that you have somewhat of a role model role to fulfill, and hopefully, you know, you do a lot of the right things and have fun with it, and that's, life is too short to not have fun on a day-to-day basis. So.
And you seem to always have fun.
Most of the time.
And that kind of leads me
to go with the 90% ratio.
And that kind of leads me to my next question. Being married and have a kid, and Budweiser being the sponsor, I know darn well there's some good parties going on during the week and the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
How tough is that, being married and have to, hey, I gotta go on business and go to a party all the time?
Yeah. Well, you know, Budweiser is actually, you know, they're usually not like huge parties, to be honest with you. Usually the only appearance that you go to that's a huge party is at the Super Bowl. So, you know, it's a very fun brand to be a part of. You get to go to a lot of sporting events. Delana and I both enjoy sporting events. We get to go to one on Monday in Cincinnati. So it's cool events like that, but, you know, I enjoy drinking beer, as a lot of people do. So that's a good thing. It all works out well.
No, and I was asking JJ Yaley and Dave Blaney earlier, and this, after asking, I was like, you know, this is a great question, and that is, what age did you know that you wanted to do this and strive for that big goal of being a NASCAR driver? Did you know, was there like a turning point in your life that you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be the best at it, and I'm going to be awesome? Do you remember that moment that really kind of changed your life?
Yeah, I was 19, and you know, I'd raced my whole life from the time I was 5 until that point. So when I was 19, you know, we didn't have any money, and we weren't really going to race the next year, so I decided to go to work for Wayne and Connie Spears as a mechanic, hoping that I would get an opportunity to drive in their Winston West car at the time, and their truck series truck at that particular time. So about halfway through the year, I worked as a mechanic and got that opportunity, and luckily everything went okay in the first race, and we were able to keep driving after that. So that was kind of like the step out that I took.
So do you remember the one time that you got that first phone call to drive the big car? Do you remember that?
That's funny that you say that, because you know, I went and we did our second truck deal with Brad Doherty and the team, Jim Harrick and the team out of Ohio. And like halfway through that year, it's like all within 1 week, you had Childress and Gibbs and a whole bunch of different guys, and it was kind of like culture shock, because you went your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're just hoping for one break, and all of a sudden you had to make a decision on which opportunity you wanted to go with. So it was a good problem to have, and I think everything's worked out okay.
Kevin, do you still have to pinch yourself once in a while going, you know what, This is incredible. I mean, I went from being a 19-year-old mechanic to where I am today. You know, having the motor coach, having the race teams, having a beautiful wife and a child. I mean, you have to pinch yourself once in a while going, I hit the lottery. I mean, life is incredible.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate, you know, to be able to do what you used to pay to do for a hobby. To come out here and polish your profession is something that a lot of people don't get to experience, and you have, you know, huge corporations that are sponsoring yourself and the race team to go out and represent their brands. So you're pretty lucky, and I think as you get a little older, you realize exactly what you're involved in, and you enjoy it more as you go on a day-to-day basis. So it's fun, and I feel like I'm halfway through my career and have, you know, been fortunate to accomplish a lot, and look forward to the second half.
There is so much going on in a driver's life. I mean, you have appearances, you have the race, you have this. What is that one moment before a race that still makes you tick? And you know what I mean? And I mean tick in a good way, not tick in a bad way, but that you're like, wow, I'm really doing this. Is it you walking out to your car? Is it the driver intros? Is it somebody saying, gentlemen, start your engines? Is it, what moment is that for you? It's a little bit different for everybody.
For me, you wind up so busy and you wind up doing so many things that come with the sport. And the part that you really enjoy about the sport is the smallest piece of what you do, and that's actually racing the car. So I think, you know, for me, it's really not gentlemen start your engines or anything like that. It's when you're coming to the green flag and you finally you're like, all right, I get to do what I actually like to do, and that's race. And so when they say, you know, come to the green, and then they say green, 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 that's when you know that you know, your day is almost finished, actually.
And at that point, I know your fans get flipping crazy for you. Can you actually hear the roar of 100,000 people cheering for you? Like when you take the lead, and can you hear the crowd through your helmet, through the engine? Can you hear them, or can you just kind of see everybody going?
I can barely hear his moments. So yeah, it's more.
So we gotta be a little bit louder today, I guess. Is what
It's more of a visual for me. So it's but you know, I mean, we have very loyal fans and have been loyal through the ups and downs of everything that we do, and you know, we really appreciate that. So last few years have been really good. So we're just trying to make the end to another good year.
Do you mind answering a couple questions from the fans? Awesome. And while I'm going down.